Ayan. Welcome. So, finals na. So, I hope I cannot finish the whole subject, but I will try my best to cover as much topics as I can. Uh, we're already done with the first part ng obligations of the vendor. Hopefully, matapos natin. No? We're on the, currently, we're on the section 3, conditions and warranties as part of the obligations of the vendor. So hindi lang siya limited to delivery of the thing, to transferring the ownership of the thing, to taking care of the thing with the diligence of a good father of a family, but it also covers obligations of the vendor as regards to conditions and the warranties that the vendor may be liable. So we'll start with Article 1545. It says here, where the obligation of either party to a contract of sale is subject to any condition which is not performed. Okay, such party may refuse to proceed with the contract or waive the performance of the condition. Okay, let's stick with the first sentence first. Okay, sabi, kapag daw ang obligation ng isang party is nakarest sa isang condition wherein this condition is subsequently not performed, one of the party has these remedies. The party can either refuse to proceed with the contract precisely because hindi nga na-perform yung condition, therefore, ayoko na mag-enter into a contract. Hindi naman na-fulfill yung condition. So, wala akong obligation. Okay? I can refuse to proceed with the contract. Okay? Or, one of the parties can waive the performance of the condition. Meaning, o sige, kahit hindi mo na nagawa yung condition, tuloy natin yung transaction, may obligation ako sa iyo. Okay? So, those are the two remedies that either party may have if there is a condition, if there is an obligation wherein a condition rests and it is not performed. So, one of the parties can either refuse to proceed with the contract, malamang kasi nga doon naka-rest yung obligation. Kung hindi nangyaring condition, walang contract. Let's say, for example, I will sell to you my car for 500,000 pesos. I will sell to you my car with a discount of 500,000 pesos if you pass the bar or if you pass the board exam. If you pass the CPA board exam. Okay? So, may condition. Diba? One of the condition is if you pass the board exam, the CPA board exam. So, if that is the case and hindi nangyari yung condition, you failed the CPA board exam, one of the parties can refuse to proceed with the contract. Why? Because hindi nga niya naipasa yung CPA board exam. So, wala tayong, I am not obliged to sell to you at a discounted price of 500,000 pesos. Okay? Or, kahit pa hindi napasa yung CPA board exam, kung sinabi ng isang party, o sige, i-waive ko na yung condition. Kahit hindi mo napasa yung board exam, ibenta ko sa yung kotse ko at discounted price of 500,000 pesos. Pwede yun. Okay? Those are the two options that one of or either parties has. Okay? If the other party, let's proceed to the second sentence, has promised that the condition should happen or be performed, such first mentioned party may also treat the non-performance of the condition as a breach of warranty. So, Dito mo na ma-decipher yung difference niya dun sa first sentence. Dun sa first sentence, no first paragraph kasi, condition lang. Okay? Walang promise. Ibig sabihin, if you pass the bar exam, if ganito ang nangyari, condition lang. Walang promise. But in the second sentence, ang sabi, if the other party has promised that the condition should happen. Meaning, there's a guarantee or pinramis mo na gagawin mo ito. Pinramis mo na ipapasa mo na you'll do this and that. Okay? Non-performance thereof should be a breach of warranty. Okay? So, in the first sentence, that is more of a condition. Kasi pwede mo siyang i-waive. Diba? Sabi natin, dalawa ang remedies, refusal or waiver. Okay? Pero dun sa second sentence is more of a warranty. Why? Because there is a promise. Okay? Ganun mag-work ang warranty. Okay? Non-performance or non-performance of such condition na promise is considered a breach of warranty. Okay? That is considered a breach of warranty. Okay? Second paragraph, where the ownership of the thing has not passed, the buyer may treat the fulfillment by the seller of his obligation to deliver the same as described in warranty expressly or by implication in the contract of sale as a condition of the obligation of the buyer to perform his promise to accept and pay for the thing. Meaning, when the seller delivers the thing to the buyer, okay? Sabi ng second paragraph ng Article 1545, the buyer may treat this delivery of the thing, okay, as a condition for him to accept and pay for the thing. Ay, bido. And pay for the thing. Okay? So, ang ibig sabihin niya, since nag-deliver na siya, okay, that is high time for me to pay the thing. Wait lang ha. Merong mga Hello, hello. I'm sorry. Na ano? Sining nakuha niyo mo. Na-reset. Wait lang. Ayan. Let's continue. Sorry, nalobat yung laptop. Okay. Under the second paragraph, as I have said kanina, the performance of the seller or the delivery of the thing may be treated by the buyer as his condition for him to accept and pay uh, for the thing, di ba? Since na deliver na ni, kaya nga if babalikan natin yung sale is a mutual contract, di ba? Wherein both parties have obligations to each other and both parties must comply with this obligation. So parang sinasabi niya na since nag-deliver mo na yung thing, okay, I'll accept it and I'll pay for it. Okay? Ganun yung Article 1545. So this gives us an idea, especially paragraph 1, of difference between a condition and a warranty. Kasi sabi ko kanina, yung first sentence is more of a condition while the second sentence is more of a warranty. Okay? That's why we have this difference between warranty and the condition. Okay? When we say warranty, okay, the performance of such obligation may constitute an obligation in itself. Okay? The performance of such obligation may constitute an obligation in itself. Okay, while for a condition, it becomes the root of the existence of the obligation, just like in first sentence of paragraph 1. Okay? Meaning na the performance or the non-performance of the condition will give rise to the obligation. Diba? Kaya sabi natin kanina, if na-complying condition, pwede niyang i-refuse. Ibig sabihin, ma-extinguish yung obligation or hindi mag-exist yung obligation. And he can also waive it. Pwede niya rin i-waive to para kahit hindi na fulfill yung condition, pwede pa rin, meron pa rin obligation. Unlike in warranty, performance of such obligation may constitute an obligation in itself. Okay? Kapag, let's say for example, nag-deliver ka ng thing, you are a seller, and you deliver a thing, kapag in-accept yan ng buyer, your delivery, okay, gives warranty, okay, constitutes a warranty that what you have sold or what you have delivered is yours, or you have a right to deliver the property, or that you are the owner of the property. Yun yung winawarrant mo. Okay? Kaya kapag it will later on be found out that this property is not yours, then therefore you are liable as a seller. Okay? The second distinguishment, warranty okay. The second difference, warranty may form part of the obligation or contract, or provision of the law without having agreed thereto. Meaning, a warranty may be express, a warranty may be implied. Meaning, kapag express, nakalagay sa contract, nandun yung warranties ng seller. Okay, expressly provided in the contract. Kapag implied, kahit wala sa contract, basta merong sale, meron kang implied warranty. Okay, we will discuss that more later. While in a condition, walang implied. Okay, it must be stipulated by the parties. Walang implied condition. It must be stipulated by the parties. Okay? For warranty, its non-fulfillment may constitute a breach of contract. So pag hindi na-fulfill, that is a breach of contract. Pero sa condition, kapag hindi na-fulfill, it may extinguish the obligation. Okay? Hindi siya automatic na breach of contract. Okay? Kasi nga, condition lang siya. It may give rise to the obligation or it may extinguish the obligation. Okay? That is the difference between warranty and condition. Okay, while we also have conditions imposed on the perfection of the contract and condition imposed on the performance of obligation. Okay, when the condition is imposed on the perfection of the contract, it prevents the juridical relation from coming into existence. Meaning, nakadepende yung perfection ng contract dun sa, nakadepende yung perfection ng contract dun sa condition. Let's say, for example, kapag pumasa ka sa CPA board exam, okay, tayong dalawa, ibibenta ko sa yung lupa ko, bibilin mo. Okay, para kapag hindi nangyari yon, naka-base dun yung perfection, walang mangyaring contract. Okay? It will prevent the existence of a juridical relation. Kasi dun siya nakabase dun sa condition na pagpasa sa CPA board exam. Okay? While a condition imposed on the performance of obligation gives the option to the party to refuse, yung sabi ko kanina, to refuse or waive the condition and proceed with the contract. Okay? Ito naman, kapag gaya ng example natin kanina. Okay? Ganito na lang, ibahin na lang natin yung condition para hindi pa ulit-ulit. If, let's say for example, marites ka. Okay? Kapitbahay mo si X at si Y. Okay? Nakipag-agree ka kay Mr. A. Sabi mo, if X will marry Y, okay, I will deliver to you my jewelry. Sabi mo na lang. Okay? If X will marry Y. Okay? So, if X later on will not marry Y, then there is no performance of the obligation. But if X later on marries Y, then there is an obligation for you to deliver the jewelry to Mr. A. That is a condition imposed on the performance of the obligation. Nakadepende dun kung gagawin ko or hindi. Okay, unlike dun sa perfection of conditions imposed on perfection of a contract, nakadepende lang dun kung mape-perfect yung contract. Okay? Kung magkakaroon ng meeting of the minds. Okay? That is warranty versus condition. Article 1546 talks about express warranty. Okay? Meaning, any affirmation of fact or any promise by the seller relating to the thing is an express warranty. Okay, any affirmation of fact or any promise by the seller with regards to the thing is express warranty. If the natural tendency of such affirmation will induce the buyer and the buyer later on relied thereon. Okay? That is express warranty. Okay? Let's say, for example, any affirmation of fact, nagbenta ka ng water, bottled water. Sinabi mo, it has all the vitamins and nutrients in the world. Ganyan-ganyan. It will give you good skin, healthy skin, radiant-looking skin, mga ganyan. Yan. That could be an express warranty. Okay? Provided, however, na hindi lang siya basta sole affirmation of fact or any promise. Dapat, na-induce din talaga si buyer. Sabihin, naniwala si buyer. And, nag-rely siya dun sa statement mo na affirmation of fact. That is an express warranty. Okay? I hope that's clear. No affirmation of the value of the thing or any statement purporting to be a statement of the seller's opinion only shall be construed as warranty. Let's stop there. Meaning, itong first phrase na binasa ko, if it's merely an affirmation of the value of the thing or merely a seller's opinion, hindi siya express warranty. It's not an express warranty. Basta ang affirmation mo is with regards to the value, yung presyo of the thing. Wala ka namang ginagaranty doon. Wala ka namang winawaran doon. Okay? Or, kung hindi naman sa value, pero opinion lang ni seller, okay? Hindi pa rin siya express warranty. Kasi opinion lang naman ni seller yun. Unless, take note guys, unless the seller made such affirmation or statement as an expert and it was relied upon by the buyer. Okay? So, generally, if it's an affirmation of value or seller's opinion, it's not an express warranty unless the seller, in giving that opinion, gave that statement as an expert. Okay? And later on, the buyer relied. That is an express warranty. Okay? I hope that's clear. Because, okay, usual naman yung exaggerations. Diba kapag nagbebenta yung salesperson, okay? Natural, malamang din naman na normal na yung medyo exage sila kapag magbenta. Okay? Pero normal na ito sa business transaction because sabi dito, these usual exaggerations in trade are not in themselves fraudulent. Hindi ibig sabihin fraudulent sila. Okay? Because this is of general knowledge na ganito ang mga salesperson. Okay? A misrepresentation made in good faith is not fraudulent but may constitute error. Okay? As long as that representation is made in good faith, it will not be fraudulent. Kasi akala mo din na ganito, akala mo ganyan. Okay? So that is express warranty under Article 1546. Under Article 1547 naman, since we're done with express warranty, we're with implied warranty. Okay? In the contract of sale, unless a contrary intention appears, there is, number one, an implied warranty on the part of the seller that he has the right. Diba? Sabi ko kanina, isa sa warranty ng seller is that kapag nagbenta siya ng bagay, kahit anong property, ang winawarrant na yan is meron siyang right to sell the thing. at the time when the ownership is to pass, and that the buyer shall from the time have and enjoy legal and peaceful possession of thing. Okay? Legal and peaceful possession of the thing. Okay? Yan ang winawarrant ni seller. Kahit ano yan guys, implied yan kahit wala sa contract of sale. Okay, kahit wala yan sa contract of sale, winawarrant ni seller yan na meron siyang right to sell the thing. Diba? Sabi natin before, if you can recall, the seller need not be the owner at the time of perfection of the contract. Diba? But the seller must be the owner or must have the right to sell the thing upon delivery. Diba? Kasi delivery is when the ownership will pass. Diba? So, yan ang isa sa implied warranty ni seller. That he has the right to sell the thing. Okay? Second one, an implied warranty that the thing shall be free from any hidden defects or hidden faults. Okay? Free from hidden defects. Okay? Or any charge or encumbrance not declared or known to the buyer. Kasi, like for example, dun sa first instance ng implied warranty, let's say for example, lupa, nabenta yung lupa. Si A, binenta niya yung lupa kay B. Okay? B later on, akala niya, nabili niya na kay A, siya na yung may-ari. Pero after ilang months, nagulat siya, may nag-file ng case sa kanya in court. Nagsabi na, sila yung may-ari. Sila talaga yung may-ari, hindi si A. At dapat ma-oust ng possession si B. Okay? That is an instance wherein the seller is liable because may eviction buyer. Okay? For freedom from hidden defects, okay? Dun sa winarant mo, dun sa pinakita mo na product na walang faults, na okay, maayos, okay? Pero nung pagbili pala, say for example, yung sasakyan. Okay? Nung tinest drive mo, okay naman. Pero nung tinest drive mo, ang takbo lang niya is 40 kilometers per hour ka lang. Kasi test drive mo lang naman. Yung pala, nung nabili mo na, hindi niya pala kayang lumampas ng 40 kilometers per hour kasi may diferensya na yung makina. O yan yung hidden defect na hindi mo makikita. Okay? That is one of the implied warranty of a seller. Okay? The right to sell, that he has the right to sell the thing, or that it is free from hidden defects. Okay? This article, however, shall not render the sheriff, the auctioneer, the mortgagee, the pledgee, or other person liable. Okay? Why? Because they are not the sellers themselves. Okay? The sheriff, siya lang yung intusan ni court na mag-execute ng sale. Si auctioneer, siya lang yung nag-facilitate ng sale. Si mortgagee, siya lang yung nag-ask for the sale as well as the pledgee. Hindi sila yung mismong seller. Okay? Kaya, hindi sila liable for warranties. What is implied warranty? This one, na-discuss ko na actually dun sa previous paragraph, di ba? It is an obligation imposed by the law when there has been no representation or promise, especially a warranty arising by operation of law because of the circumstance of sale rather than by the seller's express promise. Okay? Example is, sabi ko, right to sell, free from hidden defects. Ito rin, warranty against eviction, connected siya dun sa right to sell. Kasi if the seller doesn't have the right to sell, then pwedeng ma-evict si buyer. Ano yung eviction ba na sinasabi natin? Yung ma-oust siya sa possession at ownership ng thing. Okay? Warranty against an apparent burden or servitudes. Warranty against redhibitory defects on animals. Okay? Although a seller is bound by implied warranties in law, nevertheless, an agent of the seller may bind himself to such warranties by express contractual stipulation. Okay? Meaning, si seller, liable siya for implied warranty. No question about that. Si agent, pwedeng maging liable provided merong express stipulation sa contract. Okay? Now, we've discussed express warranty and implied warranty under the Consumer Act, under the Civil Code. Okay? Merong dinagdag si RA 7394 or the Consumer Act of the Philippines. Okay? Ano yung mga dinagdag niya? Number 1, the terms of express warranty. Okay? Dapat merong hindi lang basta-basta express warranty. Dapat yung warranty mo must be clear and understandable. Of course, para walang vague applications ng stipulations. Okay? Identify the parties involved. Of course, you must identify the parties involved. State the products or parts covered, di ba? Hindi lahat ng, gaya ng sa sasakyan, hindi lahat ng parts ng sasakyan is merong warranty. Okay? Merong parts dyan na walang warranty because of normal wear and tear na talagang effect ng paggamit ng sasakyan. Okay? Gaya ng gulong. Di ba? Normal wear and tear na mga gamit talaga yan. Okay? And prone na masira. May risk na masira because of wear and tear. Okay? State what the warrantor will do and whose expense in such cases of defect or malfunction. Diba? Kaya nga sinasabi doon, yung mga instances na pinawarrant ni seller and those instances na babayaran niya. Kasi hindi lahat ng cost ng sira na later on na mahanap mo dun sa product na binili mo is warranted ni seller. Although generally, winawarrant ni seller yan, pero hindi lahat. Okay, there are parts that the seller will guarantee or will warranty. There are parts wherein the seller will not warrant. Okay? Fifth, state how consumer must do to avail the warranty. Di ba? Whether you must keep the official receipt or you are issued a warranty card para ma-avail mo yung warranty. Nandun din dapat. Ang sinasabi ko, nandun din dapat sa express warranty. Okay? Kasama siya dun. And stipulate the period for warranty. Of course, hindi naman lifetime na warranty, di ba? Meron yung 1 year, 6 months, 2 years, may 5 years pa, di ba, na warranty. Okay, may period. Express warranty becomes operative from the moment of sale. Okay, from the moment of sale, the seller is now, the seller may now be liable if later on merong violations dun sa warranty niya. Okay? And how can we trace that? There must be a sales report. Sales report of what? Sales report made by distributors of products shall be reported to the manufacturer, producer, or importer within 30 days from the date of purchase unless otherwise agreed upon. Okay? This is in order for the manufacturer or for the producer to know what part of their products is faulty. Di ba? Para aware sila. And para ma-verify na talagang the buyer can claim for warranty or can avail of warranty. Okay? If the distributor fails to make such report, it shall relieve the latter of its liability under the warranty. It is the producer or the manufacturer who is liable. Okay? Retailer shall be subsidiarily liable in case of failure of both the manufacturer and distributor to honor the warranty. Okay? Meaning, si manufacturer at si producer are the parties primarily liable under breach of warranty. Okay? Kapag hindi nila ma-honor, saka lang magiging liable si retailer. Okay? Yung nag-redistribute si retailer. Okay? Enforcement of warranty or guarantee, the warranty right be enforced by a mere claim needs only to present the immediate seller. Oh, ito yung sabi ko kanina. Either the warranty card or the official receipt, di ba? Yung mga may warranty, paglabas nyo sa pagtapos nyo nabili, sinasabi, Ma'am, sir, itago nyo yung official receipt or Ma'am, sir, itago nyo itong warranty card kasi pwede kayong mag-claim ng warranty if merong hidden defects or kagad masira within 7 days, within 5 days yung binili nyo na product. Okay, yun. Record of purchasers. Distributors or retailers shall keep record of all purchases covered by a warranty or guarantee from the product's lifetime. Contrary stipulations, null and void. Okay? Any stipulation contrary to RA 7394 is null and void. All stipulations shall be without legal effect. Okay? There is what we call full warranty and there's what we call limited warranty. Okay? If written warranty meets minimum requirements, then you're entitled to a full warranty. If you were not able to meet the minimum requirements, then you're only entitled to a limited warranty. Okay? There are also standards for warranty, okay, for you to meet. Okay? Remedy product within reasonable time without charge in case of defects shall conform to written warranty. Kaya nga meron tayong, di ba, mga within 7 days, masira, within 5 days, ayan. Okay? Permit consumer to elect whether to ask for refund or replacement without charge after many attempts to remedy the defect. Okay? If later on found out that it is really a defect in the product, then pwede mong papiliin si consumer whether to refund or i-replace na lang ng bagong product. This happens. Okay? And then, under the RA 7394, there's also a duration of the warranty. Okay, wherein the seller and consumer may stipulate the period within which the express warranty shall be enforceable. Okay, merong period. Breach of warranties. Breach of express warranty, the consumer may elect to have the goods repaired or its purchase price refunded by the warrantor. In case of a breach of an express warranty, may dalawang remedies si buyer. Okay? Pwede niyang ipa-repair or ipa-replace. Or ipa-refund, I should say, ipa-refund. Pero pag breach of implied warranty, the consumer may retain in the goods and recover damages or reject the goods and recover purchase price plus damages. Meaning, so kapag express warranty ang na-breach mo, ang remedy ni buyer is to repair or refund. Okay? Pero pag implied, may damages. Meaning, pwedeng i-retain yung goods plus damages. Of course, kasi nga mayroong hidden defects, like for example. Or, pwede niyang i-reject. Yung isa retain, yung isa reject, and recover the price plus damages. Okay? So, mabigat pag ang na-violate mo is implied warranty, breach of implied warranty. Okay? Article 1548, eviction shall take place whenever by a final judgment based on a right prior to the sale or an act imputable to the vendor, the vendee is deprived of the whole or part of the thing purchased. The vendee is deprived of the whole or a part of the thing purchased. Okay? Yun yung Article 1548. Ini-explain natin dito yung eviction. Take note, Eviction, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, na-oust ka of your possession or ownership. Meaning, let's say for example, A sold to B parcel of land. Okay? So ikaw naman na si B, inoccupy mo naman ito, saya-saya mo kasi meron ka ng lupa. Later on, after ilang months or years, merong nag-file na case sa'yo si Mr. C. Okay? Ngayon tong si Mr. C, nanalo sa kaso, napaalis ka dun sa lupa. Okay? Therefore, you are evicted. You are evicted. Okay? Yun yung sinasabi nating eviction. Dapat by final judgment. Okay? By final judgment. Okay? Yun yung eviction. And that, the right, let's draw a timeline. The right arose prior to the sale or not imputable to the vendor. Let's say, for example, this is the date of the sale. If the right of C, yung nagpatanggal sa'yo, already exists prior to the sale, meron na siyang right, evicted ka talaga dyan. Okay? Evicted ka dyan. And the seller is liable. Okay? But if the right only existed or is completed after the sale, the seller is not liable. Okay? So take note, yung word na based on the right prior to the sale or are not imputable to the vendor. Okay? Kapag na-evict si vendor, ay pag na-evict si buyer, kasi yung right existing before the sale, liable ka na seller. Okay? Kapag yung right only existed after, liable si, ay hindi na liable si seller. Okay? The vendor shall answer for eviction even though nothing has been, of course, because eviction is an implied warranty. Okay? Ginaguarantee mo na you have the right to sell. Di ba? Sabi ko na right to sell. Therefore, if you have the right to sell, di dapat hindi ma-evict si buyer. But the buyer is evicted, then therefore, you have the right to sell pala. Ganun yan. The contracting parties may, however, increase, diminish, or suppress this legal obligation of the vendor. Okay? Pwedeng sa contract nila, ilagay nila na kapag na-evict si buyer, liable si seller sa 90% of the amount. Pwedeng ganun. Pwedeng bawasan, diminish, or suppress, or pwedeng increase. Okay? The requisites of eviction, as what we have discussed kanina, there must be a final judgment. There has been deprivation. Such deprivation was breach of a right prior to the sale or by virtue of the acts of the vendor. The vendor has been summoned and made a defendant in the suit for eviction at the instance of the vendor. Okay? Kaya sabi ko, eviction is the act or process of legally dispossessing a person of land or rental property. Diba? Yan ang eviction. Hindi lang sa PBB merong eviction. Okay? Meron din sa lupa-lupa. Say for example, para mas makarelate kayo sa word na eviction. If meron na sa inyo ditong nagbo-boarding house, nag-apartment, okay? Diba? Ang usapan nyo sa landlord nyo or sa nagparenta sa inyo, you will pay monthly payments. Okay? Whether 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Okay? Para gamitin yung room. Okay? Since that is a rented property, okay? Pwede kang paalisin nung may-ari dyan. If you failed to pay the rental payments, di ba? Pwede kang mapaalis. Okay? Kapag nilabag mo yung mga stipulations or yung mga conditions ni landlord. Okay, bawal ang bisita, uuwi ng ganito. O sa mga ganyan, pwede kang mapaalis. Okay? Depende sa agreement nyo ni landlord. Okay? Yun yung eviction kapag napaalis ka na. Ganon din sa lupa. Okay? Ganon din kapag may nabili kang lupa. Okay? And then later on, na-evict ka, napatanggal ka kasi nga yung nagbenta sa'yo ng lupa, hindi pala sa kanya. Ayan. Pero before that, may kaso muna. Matagal na kaso-kaso. Okay. Article 1549, the vendee need not appeal from the decision in order that the vendor may be liable for eviction. Okay? Kaya ang sabi natin kanina, there must be a final judgment. Okay? Article 1550, when adverse possession had been commenced before the sale, but the prescriptive period is completed after the transfer, the vendor shall not be liable for eviction. Ito ay sabi ko kanina. Yung timeline na dinrawing ko. Diba? If the rights are already existing prior, liable si seller. Pero kung the right existed after the transfer or after the sale, hindi na liable si seller. Pero ano yung adverse possession? Para lang aware kayo. Okay, adverse possession is when you possess a property initially without a right. Okay. There are two kinds of adverse possession. Adverse possession in good faith. Adverse possession in bad faith. Dalawa yan. Okay? Adverse possession in good faith, since you are in good faith, the prescriptive period is 10 years. If you are in bad faith, the prescriptive period is 30 years. Okay? Take note, ang pwede nyo lang i-adversely process ng mga lupa is yung mga untitled. You cannot adversely possess a land that has already been titled. Pag meron na yung TCT or meron na yung titulo or OCT, Original Certificate of Title or Transfer Certificate of Title, hindi mo na yan pwedeng i-adversely possess. Hindi na. Okay? Why? Because the mere presence of that title will prevent you from adversely possessing the title. Hindi magraran yung 10 years tsaka 30 years. Ang prescription, as what is described here, it has the effect of the lapse of time in creating or destroying rights. Okay? Meaning, kapag nakompleto mo itong 10 years, then you have the right over the land because you have adversely possessed it for 10 years, provided it is in good faith. Pero kung bad faith, meaning alam mo na may ibang taong nagmamay-ari dyan, you are aware, ever since na inoccupy mo yan, aware ka, then you are in bad faith. You have knowledge. Therefore, ang prescriptive period mo is 30 years. Matagal-tagal ang prescriptive period. Okay? That is adverse possession and prescriptive period. Okay, I hope this clear. If the property is sold for non-payment of the taxes due yan. And not made known to the vendee before the sale, the vendor is liable for eviction. Meaning, ayan, kaya nga nang sabi ko, there are instances, para maging clear, kapag hindi mo nabayaran ang real property taxes mo sa lupa. Okay? Itong lupa na to, pwede yang ibenta ng government in a delinquency sale. Okay? Kapag you fail to pay the real property taxes. Okay? Ngayon, ang ginagawa ng mga ibang may-ari ng lupa na hindi nakakabayad ng real property taxes, okay, the owner or the seller will sell that piece of land. Okay, and there are instances wherein ito naman, mayroon namang buyer na kasi gandang-ganda siya sa lupa, hindi pala siya aware na kaya pala ganun yung presyo na medyo mura, sulit, kumbaga panalo ka pa dun sa presyo at dun sa quality ng lupa. Okay? Binili niya. Not knowing na hindi pala bayad yung mga taxes. Okay? Kapag later on na nabili niya to at nagulat siya na ang dami palang kailangang property tax na bayaran at later on na evict itong si buyer, liable si seller. Yun yung Article 1551. Okay? The non-payment of taxes must not be known to the vendee at the time of the sale. Okay? Why? Kasi if the vendee or the buyer has already the knowledge na merong mga delinquent taxes si taxpayer or si owner or si seller and still binili niya at na-evict siya later on, okay? Hindi na liable si vendor. Why? Because the buyer has already knowledge that even before the sale has been made or perfected, aware na si buyer na hindi bayad yung taxes ng lupa. Okay? Article 1552. The judgment debtor is also responsible for eviction in judicial sales unless it is otherwise decreed in the judgment. Of course, as what we have discussed before, as what I have clarified before, kapag sinabi mong judgment debtor, kapag debtor, mayroong creditor. Okay? Ibig sabihin nito, si debtor hindi siya nakabayad ng utang niya kay creditor. Ngayon, si creditor, since meron siyang pinautang kay debtor, finailan niya ng kaso si debtor. Ngayon, since walang pambayad si debtor, pero meron siyang properties. Yan, meron siyang properties. Pwede yang ipalevy or ipa-attach ni creditor para ibenta. Yan yung sinatawag nating judicial sale. Okay? If later on, itong mga properties na nabenta, let's say for example, meron ng buyers dun sa judicial sale, later on, na-evict itong buyer na ito, liable si judgment debtor. Okay? Para rin siyang seller. Okay? Para rin siyang seller. Why? Because yung properties na yung pala, hindi pala sa kanya or meron palang defect sa ownership ni judgment debtor. And na-evict si buyer. Liable pa rin si judgment debtor. Ito talagang judgment debtor na ito. Hindi na nga nagbabayad ng utang. Nagbigay pa ng property na may defect. Mas liable ngayon siya. Okay? That is Article 1552. A judgment debt is a debt that is evidenced by a legal judgment or brought by a successful lawsuit against the debtor. A sale conducted under the authority of a judgment or court order, such an execution sale, is a judicial sale, just like what I discussed earlier. Okay. Article 1553. Any stipulation exempting the vendor from the obligation to answer for eviction shall be void if he acted in bad faith. Okay? If there is a stipulation exempting the vendor from obligation to answer for in case of eviction. Okay? Read the article slowly. Kung ito lang ang nakalagay, dalawang pwedeng mangyari. Okay? Dito kasi ang pinakita niya dito isa lang. Kapag good faith si vendor, okay, then valid itong stipulation na to. This is a valid stipulation. Pero kung bad faith siya, void yung stipulation. Read that again. Any stipulation exempting the vendor from the obligation to answer for eviction shall be void. If, sabi niya, if. Shall be void, sabi niya, bigla siyang kumabig if he acted in bad faith. Therefore, if the vendor, even though there is a stipulation exempting the vendor from the obligation to answer in case of eviction, kung good faith naman si vendor na he really knows that sa kanya yung lupa na yan, sa kanya yung property, siya yung may right dyan. If yun talagang alam niya, and yun yung basis niya, bakit niya binenta yun sa'yo? Therefore, valid yung stipulation. Hindi maging liable si vendor. Pero kung nilagay niya yung stipulation na yan sa contract na may exempt ako kapag na-evict si buyer, dahil pala alam niya na hindi siya yung may-ari, na wala siyang right na magbenta ng lupa, that stipulation is void. Therefore, the vendor is liable in case of eviction. Okay? Stipulation waiving obligation to answer for eviction. The buyer can waive the obligation of the vendor to answer for eviction, of course. However, the said stipulation is void if the vendor acted in bad faith. The vendor acted in bad faith. Hanggang ano lang tayo, guys? I'll end the class early. Hanggang 15:55 lang tayo, okay? Hindi ko na matapos ito. Okay? Article 1554. If the vendee has renounced the right to warranty in case of eviction, and eviction should take place, the vendor shall only pay the value which the thing sold at the time of the eviction. Okay? If the vendor has announced the right to warranty in case of eviction, the vendor shall only pay the value of the thing sold at the time of eviction. Should the vendee have made the waiver with knowledge of the risk of eviction and assumed its consequences, the vendor shall not be liable. Okay? Ito naman, talks about good faith and bad faith pa rin. Okay? Doon sa first sentence, sabi niya, if ni-renounce siya ni buyer, if ni-renounce niya yung warranty in case of eviction, and later on na-evict siya, liable lang si vendor dun sa value ng thing. Why? Because maybe the vendee is not aware of the circumstances na pwede siyang ma-evict. Pero, if the vendee, the buyer, has the knowledge na pwede siyang ma-evict or inassume niya or aware na siya. Let's say, for example, you bought a property, you bought a piece of land, and later on nakita mo dun sa titulo ng lupa or dun sa electronic copy ng title ng lupa na may naka-annotate doon na naka-mortgage, may encumbrance, or na nabenta sa iba, but still, binili mo pa rin yung property na yan, hindi na magiging liable si vendor. Why? Because you already had that knowledge, na-warn ka na eh. You are already informed na ito ay naka-mortgage, may encumbrance, or na ito ay nabenta na pala. Pero binili mo pa rin. Tapos pag na-evict ka, sasabihin mo, liable din si vendor. No, hindi na liable si vendor. Why? Because you are already operated in bad faith. Okay? Dalawa ang klase ng waiver na yan. Waiver consciente and waiver intentionada. Okay? When we say waiver consciente, ni-renounce ni Vendi yung right to warranty in case of eviction in good faith. Okay? That's why the vendor shall only pay the value of the thing. Waiver intentionada naman, if the buyer acted in bad faith or has already the knowledge na pwede siyang ma-evict, di ba? May knowledge na siya, aware na siya dun sa pwedeng mangyari, still binili niya, hindi na maging liable si vendor. Okay? That is Article 1555. Okay? 1554, I should say. 1555 naman. Okay? Ano yung rights ni Vendi against kay vendor? Or ano yung pwedeng i-demand ni Vendi kay vendor? Okay? Number 1, the return of the value which the thing sold at the time of the eviction, be it greater or less than the price of the sale. Of course, since na-evict na yung si buyer, ito yung rights niya in case of eviction. To return the value of the thing sold. Okay? Kung hindi na pwedeng ma-return yung thing, you return the value of the thing sold. Kasama na dyan yung income or yung fruits. Okay? Whatever income or fruits that may be generated, let's say for example, ang binenta is land, agricultural land, na pwede sanang pinagtamnan, but because of breach of warranty, ganyan ang nangyari, the court may order you to deliver the income or fruits. Okay? Income or fruits. And also, the costs of the suit. The costs of the suit, which caused the eviction. And in the proper case, those of the suit brought against the vendor for the warranty. Meaning, let's say for example, because of sa ginawa ni vendor, let's say for example, A sold to B. Okay, later on, mayroong nag-appear na si C, nag-file siya ng case against kay B, and because of that, na-evict si B. Liable si A. Di ba? Kasama doon yung pinag-file doon sa case. Lahat ng gastos doon sa kaso, liable si vendor. So, you look at that. The consequence of your actions. Okay, the consequence of the vendor's actions. Diba? Pati yung cost ng suit, babayaran niya. Hindi lang yung pagbalik ng value ng thing, pati yung income or fruits na potentially pwedeng makita ng property or lupa, if lupa yun, the cost of the suit. Okay, which caused the eviction. Number 4, the expenses of the contract. The expenses of the contract if the vendee has paid them. Okay? Kasi under the law, di ba? Sabi natin, under the law, the vendor is the one who pays for the expenses of the contract unless otherwise agreed. Di ba? Kapag ang pinag-agreean nila is si buyer ang magbayad ng expenses, ang expenses of the contract may include notarial fee, di ba? Yung pagbayad sa BIR, ng capital gains tax, di ba? Yung pag-process sa ROD, lahat ng related dun sa contract na expenses, pwedeng transportation, if they can show proof na because of the contract, gumastos sila pwede yun. Lahat yun, babayaran ni seller or ni vendor. Okay? The damages and interest or ornamental expenses if the sale was made in bad faith. Tandaan, basta merong bad faith sa civil law, basta merong bad faith, one is always liable for damages. Itong damages na ito yung civil indemnity or pera. Civil indemnity or cash. Okay? So, hindi lang yung value ng thing, yung potential income or fruits that may have been earned, the costs of the suit, of initiating the suit, the expenses of the contract, and the damages and interest if there is bad faith. Okay? That is Article 1555. So I'll end the class here now. Let's continue with Article 1556 next meeting. Okay? May questions? Okay, guys? Silence means wala. So no questions. We'll continue next meeting, okay? Good night, everyone. Good night.
Thank you po, sir. Good night po.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you po, sir.
sir.
Thank you po, sir.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.